Hello everyone and welcome to the very first episode of the CGS brew, an initiative brought to you by the Career Guidance Society of the Faculty of Engineering, University of Sri Jayewardenepura. At its core, this podcast is born from a very simple idea. There's often a gap between students and the people who shape their academic and professional journeys. A gap in communication, a gap in understanding, and sometimes even a gap in opportunity. We wanted to change that. So this series is our effort to bring conversations closer, connecting students with the voices that guide, inspire, and influence their paths. It's about creating a space where ideas are shared openly, experiences are explored honestly, and perspectives are brought into light. This isn't just another project, it's something that we've been envisioning for quite some time now. And today we are excited to finally bring it to life. And what better way to begin than with someone whose impact is felt across the entire faculty. Someone who has played a vital role in nurturing and shaping the mindset of future innovators and leaders. A name that carries both responsibility and inspiration. Someone at the very heart of it all. So to kick things off with our very first episode, it is truly an honor and a privilege to introduce our esteemed guest today, the current Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Dr. Nishan Dharmaweera. Thank you so much for joining with us today for our very first episode. So sir, to start things off on a very light note, how would you describe yourself beyond your titles and designations, and who really is Nishan Dharmaweera as a person?
All right, so thank you for the lovely introduction. That was very lengthy. Thank you so much. So I'm just a simple person, right? So I'm a father of two young kids. And apart from that, apart from being the dean, I'm just a researcher and an academic. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess.
Okay, sir. So, sir, we often see you as a leader and, as you said, as an academic. But I am curious of what exactly a typical day in your life would look like, because we see you as a very busy person running around the faculty and even in the main university. So we've been even in our IB, we've been thinking, what sort of a life might he be? His life, what it might really be. So what is your typical really daily routine? What might it be?
I guess it's similar to another academic as well. The only difference is, since I'm holding this position, I have to attend a lot of meetings. But apart from that, I guess I don't get to do lectures that often these days. So my daily routine, basically I wake up in the morning and I have to help with my kids. So drop them at their school, and then I come to the faculty, and then pretty much the whole day I have to attend different meetings. And in between, if I have time, basically I have to assist my postgraduate students as well, and of course get ready for lectures whenever possible. I do lectures. Yeah, so as you said, since we are situated not in the main university but somewhere else, I have to travel a lot, right? So to attend meetings that is happening in the main university. Yeah, so yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a very busy schedule, but then again, like as a dean, it's my responsibility to be there, to represent the faculty. So I enjoy it. So yeah, so that's my typical day.
So I'm just kind of treading off script here, but then so sir, you've been in the eyes of the undergraduates, you've been a very physically fit and person who maintains a good physique. So what sort of an effort goes into that, and how do you maintain a good physical health? Because these days that's obviously in the discussions, because it takes a lot from an undergraduate to maintain their physical health with all the academic stuff that we do. So what would your ideal physical maintenance schedule, what would it look like?
Physical maintenance. So I've not been the same. So when I first joined, maybe I was a little bit more wider, I guess. Yeah, so I'm growing old. I'm past a certain age as well. So of course I had to look after my health for the benefit of my kids as well. So of course I do a little bit of workouts at home. So I have a few equipment at home. So I do workouts, and once in a while I do these 5K runs. And since very recently I have started going to a certain gym, not like personal training, but like group activities. That is to keep myself like active and at the same time be healthy as well.
Right.
Yeah, so it's an important part of my life, I would say.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, then on a more personal note, what are the most simple things that can instantly make you smile?
The first thing would be the kids, right? So especially the small ones, like when they do some nice stuff, of course, it makes me very happy. And also another thing would be the students, the feedback that I get from students. Like often, we come across these students who are running through a lot of bad patches in their life, and we try to help them out. And after a while, if it's successful, they will come back and thank us. I think those things are like simple things that would make anyone happy, including myself.
So, sir, now looking back, sir, on like who and what would you say has had the biggest influence in shaping whom you are today?
I guess my parents. So my father worked in the Navy. So he worked as the director of engineering until the war came to an end. And my mother worked in the bank, right? So basically both of them were working for the government sector. So especially my father, I mean, like most of the time he was not at home because he basically had to be in different stations in bases. So I'm like, that was a very difficult stage, I would say. But then again, like I realized that the amount of effort that he had to put in and the difficulties that he had to go through. So I think that was one of the key kind of attributes or things that I have learned from him. Right, you had to go through difficult phases in order to achieve something. So basically, I was following his footsteps, I guess, to a certain extent.
Okay, sir. So, sir, as now you have a very wonderful life, and looking back at, we all know that childhood plays a very critical and huge role in defining on someone who they will become. So, could you share a bit about your childhood and the early years that contributed to your journey, to the specific decisions that you took along the way that made you the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering?
Okay, so I guess during your childhood, sometimes you tend to have certain ambitions, I guess, right? So some of the students or children would want to become doctors, and some of them would want to become engineers, accountants. So likewise, so I could remember when I was in grade 5, during that time, that was back in 1995, 1996, there were like a lot of places, like a lot of institutes who started all these computer related courses. So my sister used to attend one of those. So I went through one of those brochures and I realized that, okay, I also want to do something related to technology or like computers specifically. So that was the starting point. And even when I was a small child, I could remember that whenever I get these remote control cars, those days there were no remote control cars, but battery operated cars. I used to disassemble them and I used to play with the internal parts of the car. I used to really like it. So yeah, and even like when I was in like grade maybe 5, 6, same period, we used to watch Robin Hood and we used to make these small houses, and then I used to bring a bulb and a battery and have artificial source, right, some sort of light source. So I had that passion at that time. So when I saw these brochures like computer classes and you can learn about technology, so that gave me kind of like a new path, and my parents actually supported it. So I attended those classes, and then after I finished my the A levels, I realized that okay, this is going to be the path for me. Right, so, yeah.
So, sir, it's undoubtedly a fact that failure is a part of success.
Definitely.
So,
yes.
Failure is something that we all encounter, and yet we handle it all differently. So, how has failure shaped in you becoming you today?
Yeah, so failure is something that is really important, because if you do not fail, I don't think you'll be successful. I mean, you can still be successful, but then again, whenever you face challenges, at a later part of your life, you tend to kind of like fall back a lot. So in terms of failures that I face, of course, I was not the brightest in my class, I would say. And for A levels also, I didn't get the best results. So, and then I had to look at alternative avenues, and my parents supported at that time. So I studied at Monash University, right, not in a local university. Yes, so initially my parents had to spend money, but then later on I was able to get a scholarship. Yeah, so even during my undergrad years, certain projects they were not successful. So of course, had to put in a lot of effort. But at the end of the day, sometimes you might get a simple pass or like a very low grade for that project. But then I always realized that it's not the end. Right? These are things that I learned from my parents, right? So from my father especially, because I could remember during the time of the war, like some of the boards that he used to help manufacture. They used to like break down in some situations, but then like always they had a backup plan. So likewise in your life also you need to have that kind of a backup plan, right? Yeah, that's important.
So, sir, as the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, I think you're the perfect person for my next question. What, in your opinion, truly makes a great engineer?
Okay, to become a great engineer, I'm not sure whether I am the best person to give that definition, but based on my experience, if you want to become a good engineer or a perfect engineer, I would say, what you need is, of course, you need the skill set, the knowledge. That is important, because without that, without the scientific knowledge, you might just become a technician, right? So it's important that you have the correct knowledge and the skill set, but at the same time, you have to be a very good team player, right? That's very important, because an engineer can't work alone, right? And also you have to have that, you have to have the, what you call the, inside you have to be a little bit creative, right? You have to be able to look at problems and articulate or like come up with solutions in your mind, right? And when you do that, you have to be able to like bring in that knowledge, merge that knowledge with the solution, and to develop a realistic solution. So yeah, creativity is very important, and at the same time, also the enthusiasm, right? When you see a problem, whether you are like you have the need, the urge to find a solution based on what you have learned. So that is also important. So teamwork, that enthusiasm and creativity. So those are, and the knowledge, of course.
Right.
Those are, I guess, the most important things.
So, sir, my next question is, what do you think has been the most fulfilling and rewarding moment in your life?
I guess the opening ceremony of the new premises. Yeah, the difficulties that we had to go through, like endure during the last 3 years, it was like immense, right? I guess you were also here, right? Some of the students were also here. I think especially during the last 2 years, we came to a certain point where things looked very like bleak and very uncertain, right? Especially with the procurement, especially with the what do you call the building premises, the construction. So at that time, we had to take certain risks, and whenever we took those risks, we always thought thought in ourselves, right? It's going to come to some conclusion, and hopefully that conclusion will be something successful, right? So it will bring about this nice faculty. So yeah, the day that we had the opening ceremony, we realized, okay, whatever that we did, whatever the sacrifices that we made, it has brought us something good.
So, sir, you've experienced both industry and academia. So, how would you describe the difference between the two, and what influenced your decisions to pursue the academic path that you're on today?
I guess maybe it's the passion to do research, because now I worked in the industry for a short period. Then I worked as a postdoctoral researcher. So then I realized that my passion is more towards research. I want to do research. I want to do like work with cutting edge research, I would say, right? Now, if you were to work in the industry, generally what would happen is you will do some research, but those will be like research that is relevant to what is happening now, right? You might be working on a project, and the output of the project, the company would want you to put it out within like 6 months, right? So you're not looking at very like long-term research projects. So my kind of like the passion was more towards what would happen in like 10 years time, right? So where you will come up with new theories or come up with new algorithms that could be used in the future. So that's one particular reason. And the main differentiating factor between the two, I would say, is that well, academia and research, how you look at things, right? So when it comes to the industry, at the end of the day, it's all about profits, right? Your organization, the success of your organization depends on how much profit that you make, right? So always it's short-term, what do you call, goals, right? Whereas in academia, you have the opportunity to work on like long-term research projects or look at things that would happen in a few years' time, right? So that gives you a little bit of flexibility as well, right? And there's a lot of opportunity for you to like do wrong things and correct yourself also, right?
So sir, now it's established as you're very professional in the academic field and you've had a lot of experience. But then if you hadn't chosen engineering or academia, what would you be doing today?
I'm not 100% sure. Maybe like if it was not academia, maybe maybe computer science, maybe a software programmer, or maybe like maybe I would go into fitness field. Yeah,
Right.
that's another area that I really like. So I'm like I didn't get much time to like do a lot of training in that particular area. But I realized recently that that's a really nice field.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So sir, what does happen? So we are basically in a societal state where we are always trying to pursue happiness. It's all about your mental health, your stability of your mind. So, and these days, especially these days, a lot of people are talking about happiness. So what does exactly happiness mean to you, and what do you do to maintain that balance in your life, I would say?
Okay, happiness. I think everyone has their own definition, I would say, when it comes to happiness. So for some people, it's about what you call reaching their goals or aims, right? Being very successful. But for me, I guess simple things like now I work with a lot of people. So as far as they are happy and there are no like like conflicts among them, because when you work in an organization, often you come across different conflicts, and as the chief administrator or the dean, you always have to get involved and somehow calm them down, right? So if I'm able to do that, and if I'm sure that all my all the people who are working under me, right, are also happy, then that basically makes me happy as well. And also it's about now as the dean and as an academic, it's about the student satisfaction at the end of the day. So if I get to see the students smiling and having a good time, right, and enjoying their what you call studentship in this faculty, I think those are things that would make myself happy.
Right. So sir, we've been now talking and reflecting about your life and your career. What is one piece of advice you wish you had received early on in your life?
One piece of advice that all right, maybe spend more time in the industry before joining the academia, right? That would have helped me a lot as well,
Okay,
right?
So sir, your role must obviously comes with a lot of pressure and responsibility. What does Nishan Dharmaweera really do to manage stress and stay grounded?
Basically, I call all the HODs and we often have a very good time, like a lot of food, right? So food makes me happy, I'll be very honest with you. So whenever we have a meeting, we generally have a lot of food.
Okay,
You have seen, I guess.
Yes.
All right. So that's one thing that makes us happy, regardless of whether it has a lot of what you call carbs and other stuff. Yeah. So and having a nice time with the colleagues that you work with, right? Instead of considering them as your what do you call subordinates, you should basically consider them as your colleagues, because we are all at the same level, right? One day they will take over this position, right? So you have to be prepared for that. So yeah, having a good time with them, having very open discussions with them, and then finding the solutions to whatever the problems that you're facing. I think that is
Right.
Yeah,
Makes sense. So sir, what is next for you, sir, both personally and professionally? If you can answer both separately, what would we see next in the life of Dr. Nishan Dharmaweera?
Right. So professionally, what I would say is, like, of course, there are these what you call promotions that I have to look forward to as an academic VV. So currently, I'm a senior lecturer grade 1. So next would be the professorship. So I have to I have applied for that. So maybe in future I might be able to get that. And also, like, we have during these 2 years, we have started off a few new initiatives with the parallel program and the postgraduate program. So I want them to be successful. So those are things that I look forward to. Yeah, so and also to increase the number of students and make the most out of the facility that we have. right? So all those policies have been submitted and we have got the approval as well. So hopefully within like a few months time, you will get to see a very busy faculty premises where some of the industry partners will also set up their labs, right? So my, not the vision, but what I believe, I mean, like in terms of the facility and the faculty, what it should have in the future is that it should be a very open facility or a faculty premises where like you will get to work with the industry hand in hand within the premises itself. So if I can give that opportunity to the students, right, I think that will be very good. And in terms of my personal life, basically I have kids, so hopefully they will do well. And yeah, so their small accomplishments will make me happy, I guess.
Right, okay. So, sir, if you had the complete freedom to shape your future from this point on, what would be the first decision that you take?
Maybe spend more time doing research.
Okay.
Right. So I think that's one thing that I could not do really well over the last 2 years, since I was quite busy doing this particular working as the dean. Right. So put more effort into research, because regardless of how good you are as an academic, right, at the end of the day, research defines your capabilities, right? Because in order for you to be able to teach your students, you have to basically have a very good idea about the current or future technologies, right? So to be able to do that, you have to basically do a lot of research and always upgrade your knowledge. So that's important. Yeah.
So, sir, now we've been talking about research and projects and making opportunities for students. What are some of the key projects that you have been a part of that you are really most proud of and you would like to share with our viewers?
Right. So I guess so before I joined here, I worked on a couple of different projects that was for some European companies. So I worked as a postdoctoral researcher at the fiber optic research lab in Chalmers in Sweden. So during that phase, I worked on a European project worth a few millions. So that was more on fiber optic communication. So I worked very closely with, at that time I think it was Ericsson and Cisco. So that was one of the major projects that I worked during my postdoctoral research period. And after joining Jayewardenepura University, so this one particular project, it's still ongoing. We are working with Oral Corporation to come up with this smart energy meter that could basically identify individual appliances that is connected to your home wall sockets. So one device basically controlling and monitoring all the devices. So that's another interesting kind of like a project that we are working on. And also recently we have started a lot of projects in the area of renewable energy, V2G projects, where we are trying to basically charge the EV vehicles during the daytime and kind of like give back to the grid during the peak hours. So that will help to shift the peak. So yeah, those are kind of like the most interesting projects. Apart from that, there were like so many other projects that we've done. I think those two would be at the top, I would say.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing, sir. So we've come to the end of our podcast. But before we wrap up, we'd like to give you 1 minute to share any message you'd like to share directly with our students and the viewers. The camera too is yours.
All right. Okay. This is for the engineering students or like
in general, if you want.
All right. So I think this is for undergraduate students who are basically studying in a university or any other university. So what I would say is like, okay, it's going to be 3 years or 4 years until the time you graduate. So I mean, like, get all the knowledge, but at the same time have fun while you're studying, right? Make the most out of the time that you are in the university, because you won't get this time again, right? So the experiences that you gain during this period, it's going to stay with you forever, right? And once you go into the industry and once you become a real adult, things are going to be very different, right? So now you have the freedom to make mistakes, right? And then correct them, right? And also you don't have that many responsibilities. So make the most out of this time. And but make sure that you finally reach whatever the goal that you are trying to achieve or trying to reach, right? That's important. Okay. And also another important thing for the engineering students, get yourself involved in all these projects and exhibitions and all these competitions, because that is needed. Okay. I mean, like, without that, As an engineer, if you just go to the industry as a fresh graduate, as a fresh engineering graduate, the industry might not recruit you, right? So they look at your profile, they look at your all these other skills, right? So get involved in all these activities.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of today's episode. We would like to extend our sincere thanks to Dr. Nishan Dharmaweera for taking time off your very busy schedule to share his insights and experiences with us. To our viewers, we hope this conversation has inspired to reflect on your own journey and aspirations. Wishing you all a bright future ahead. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for excellence. Thank you for tuning in.